Now, obviously, if you follow our channel, you know we're fans, especially me, of driving my cars. I like to drive my cars as much as possible. I've driven cross country multiple times, but there are those times when you need a trailer. Whether you're going really, really far, maybe you're going racing and you don't want to brake, you want to have the security of a trailer, or maybe you're taking the family and it's way easier to load them in the SUV or pickup than try to put them in your race car. So today we're going to show you how to properly strap down your Mustang on an open trailer. So before we get into strapping down the trailer, let's talk about putting your Mustang on a trailer to begin with. Now, unfortunately, it is snowing outside and we can't fit the truck and trailer in our studio, so we're just gonna talk about the proper way to load it. Basically, you wanna get the car centered on the trailer. You don't want it too far to the left or right, because that'll put extra pressure on that tire on that side. So you wanna make sure it's centered properly. You also wanna center it front to back. You don't wanna have it too far in the back, because it'll make you get loose when you're going down the road, and you don't want it too far forward, so that'll put a lot of weight on the tongue, which will lower the suspension in the truck and kind of lift the truck up in the front and also make it unsteady. So when you're loading the car on the trailer, basically you want to load it until the rear suspension just starts to drop and it's as flat as possible, and that's where you're going to have it. And again, usually that is centered front to back and side to side. So before we get into actually how to strap the car down, the first thing I want to mention, make sure you have proper straps. You want straps that are designed for automotive use and are heavy duty. You know, at least 5,000 pounds. Some of the better ones are going to be 10,000 pounds, but you don't want to use low level, low quality straps. I mean, they're holding the weight of your car. You're talking Fox body Mustang here, 32, 3,300. You have an S550 here, it could be closer to 4,000. So again, make sure you have good quality straps, because if you're using the cheap ones, you're just taking too much of a chance. So there's several different ways you can strap down your car. I've seen people wrap them through the wheels. I've seen ones that fit over the tires. There's a bunch of different options there. What you want to do though is you want the suspension to be able to move normally going down the road. You strap the car down by the chassis and make it too tight, and then suspension is basically bottoming out and it can damage the suspension. So you want to strap the car down so the suspension still has freedom to move. What I like to do with these cars is use these, which are axle straps. Basically, this is going to wrap around the axle and then it'll loop through and connect, and then you strap it down to the back. Put one of these on each side of the pumpkin and basically put them in an X pattern to limit side to side movement, and that's a great way to strap down the back of the car. So take this strap, I'm gonna put it basically over the axle, and when you bring it back through, make sure you're above the sway bar. You don't wanna come under the sway bar, because if you do that, you can actually damage the sway bar. So to get it up over top, and then hook on your strap. See, that way when it's tight strap, you're not pulling down on the sway bar. If you're underneath it, when you pull on it, you can actually put pressure on that, which you don't want to do. And again, one on either side of the axle. Okay, you want to get under the strap, whatever the attachment point is on your trailer, hook it through. And then you want to pull the excess back through the strap until it's slightly snug. Once you're there, start cranking it down. Now, people often question, how tight should a strap be? Well, it should be firm. It should not have a lot of movement in it. You don't have to literally like push for every extra inch you can, but you want to get it snug. Like the point where you start needing probably 2 hands, that is probably going to be tight enough. The strap tight, make sure this goes all the way down. This bar has to be against it. That means now the strap is tight, and you can see that's about how tight you want it. You want to have a little bit of movement, but not a heck of a lot. Now, if it's your first time using these straps, to release it, it's going to be a release of some sort right here. You do that, flip it back the other way with the release open, and just push. So what do you do with the excess strap? I've seen a lot of people do different things with this. I've seen people cut them. Don't do that. You might use the strap for a different car someday, so you want to have the full length of the strap. I've seen people toss them in the trunk and close the trunk. That's effective, but the best thing to do is to tie it down. And you want to tie it so that this handle is also tied down. We're going to show you how to do that. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can bring it just over the handle this way and go through. I actually like to fish it through that. Once the strap is on, now that's tied down too. Then go back through this opening here See, now you can see our handle is tied down. And now, just make a knot with whatever's left. So we're using the exact same style straps for the front. We're using the axle strap, but in this case, we're gonna go over the control arm. That again will keep the car strapped down, but allow movement of the suspension. So we're gonna go right through here on the inside of the control arm. If you have tubulars, this is way easier, but even on stock ones, you got plenty of room here. And again, just like the front, make sure you're not on the steering, make sure you're not on the sway bar, make sure you're on the control arm. Again, grab the strap and hook it up. So in this particular trailer, it has the hookup right here again, but honestly, in my opinion, that's a little too close to the pad. I actually like to come further forward on this trailer. I bring it up and just hook it on the frame, but then same thing, pull the excess through. You'll see the car starting to move when it gets snug. I give that one more hit. There we go. And that's nice and tight. Same deal. I'm going to strap down the handle. Bring that up through. Once it's tight, tie it off. Like I said, we all love the drive, but there's definitely a time and place for a trailer. And if you're gonna trailer your Mustang, make sure it is loaded and strapped properly. I've seen accidents where a poorly loaded car that's not strapped down properly has gotten loose and taken out the truck, the trailer, and the car, so it can be very, very dangerous. So again, make sure you do it properly and safely.